see Pumpkin Pie guy.
He's in the chat.
I saw Pumpkin Pie in the chat too. Hold on.
Hello, Pumpkin Pie guy.
Let me go back.
Welcome.
Am I in the wrong chat? I do not see that.
I also saw Bean. Bean is 2 minutes late. Oh, y'all are members here. I'll see myself out. Bean, don't go. You're welcome to come.
Bean,
the Pumpkin Pie guy. Hello from Las Vegas. Hello from Las Vegas. And Salamander dude. Come on,
Man,
these names are badass. What's
Steph
poppin'?
is
What's
in the
poppin',
chat.
homies?
She's a big Star Wars nerd. I know. She writes great stuff for CouchSoup Retro Replay on Star Wars. So I know she's got some thoughts. So that's cool. Matthew Snyder's in the chat. I can see Luke Walker, Snape Fantasy. Dude, this is great. Oh, I see Pumpkin Pie guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why I missed that first. That's a great. I love pumpkin pie. Let's just break that down real quick. Do you guys like pumpkin pie?
Absolutely, I do.
It's the best.
I had never tried
awesome.
pumpkin pie until I went to until a friend of mine was working with me, and she was like, "I'm gonna make you some." So we traveled all around fucking Ireland looking for canned pumpkin because obviously we don't have it here. So eventually she did find it.
It's not something you guys normally stock.
It was fucking unreal. And then I went to I ticked off a thing on my bucket list as experience Thanksgiving in America one time.
Yeah, one time. Yeah, we remember you told that story.
Yeah, it was just a fucking great story. Because it involved pumpkin pie and pecan pie and some sort of fucking sweet potato pie. It was all great. All the pies
Sweet
great.
potato pie is pretty solid. I mean, it's okay. Not quite there with pumpkin or apple.
That's fair.
It's like a pumpkin pie wannabe, but
yeah.
It's upsetting.
Pumpkin pie wannabe. How dare you, pumpkin pie wannabe?
Is that what you do with all of your pumpkins now from Halloween? You just make pumpkin pie?
I've never done that. But
what? Why not? You have so much excess pumpkins.
Seeds. Well, because it sits outside and it rots, and then it. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
Well, don't
I don't
you
know
clean
how to make
the inside to actually make your pumpkin?
Yeah, but I don't know. But it's not. It's not the same. I don't know. I don't know how to take the innards of a pumpkin and then create the pie goodness. That comes out of the stuff you get in a can is definitely not the stuff that comes out of the inside of a pumpkin.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna throw it out there.
I actually did make pumpkin.
There's magic that happens in between the pumpkin and the canning of it that makes the pie, that makes it great. I don't know what magic it is, but it's brilliant. I'm sure.
Sweat and tears.
Yeah, or a machine. I don't know.
Or
maybe.
I had to make. I didn't have to make it. I just chose to make it last year. I made like from scratch pumpkin pie with like actual. Pumpkin and shit. That shit took fucking hours. Was it worth it? Probably not. Sure. I wish I had canned pumpkin.
Yeah, go get some cans and call that a day.
Yeah, well,
anyway,
sorry.
Jesus. Pumpkin pie guy, what have you done to us? You're not allowed back here ever again because this tangent
It's not true,
is
pumpkin pie guy. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah, no, you're out. You gotta change your name. It's all over. I will never get anything done on this show. No, we're here to talk about, you guys voted, the Book of Boba Fett. Hell to the yes. Boba Fett, guys. Do you guys know who Boba Fett is? Or am I talking to...
Yeah, you couldn't have picked the worst two people to have this conversation with. So, I mean, honestly, like, I hope chat interacts with you more. Because, we all know my stance on Star Wars.
I love Star Wars.
Oh, never mind. Stephanie's here in your corner. She's got you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Somebody, finally, someone I can have a conversation with.
Well, I will say this: I do know who Boba Fett is, and I absolutely loved The Mandalorian. So, I'm up for this.
All right.
Yeah,
all right. That's
I am
cool.
up for this.
What about you, Steph? I mean, does Boba? When I say Boba Fett, what comes to mind?
Honestly, it's like not the best movie, but. Was it Clone Wars? Yeah, Clone Wars.
Well, that was technically that was Jango Fett. Well, Boba Fett's in it, so yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. It's like young Boba Fett, but it's been a long time.
It's been a hot minute,
and I've seen like a little bit of like the animated series.
All right.
So like I know a little bit about him, but I have yet to watch The Mandalorian. I've taken my time to watch it. You know? Yeah. So.
Yeah, he comes in midway through. We get introduced back to Boba Fett midway through in The Mandalorian, and this trailer, from what I surmise, takes place right after Mandalorian season 2. So if you haven't seen The Mandalorian and you haven't seen like early season 2 of The Mandalorian and you haven't seen like the end credit scene that comes after the last episode, then this you might need that for a little bit of context for the Book of Mandalorian. You might not need it. I don't know. I'm sure there'll probably be like a last time on Boba Fett's life. Here's what happened.
Previously on-
Recap.
Remember
Yeah,
this?
previously on Boba Fett. And this is it'll probably break it down for you. So you may not need it, but if you're a Star Wars fan, you probably know what's up. Listen, I'm a little skeptical going into this. So Boba Fett, just for context, Boba Fett for me, like when I saw Boba Fett first time in the theaters in Empire Strikes Back, and he's this badass like bounty hunter who captures Han Solo, puts him in carbonite, takes him all the way to Jabba the Hutt, right? Makes a deal with Darth Vader, and then in Return of the Jedi, he kind of gets his comeuppance, like blind Han Solo knocks his jetpack. He flies into the Sarlacc pit, and we think he's dead. You think he's gone forever. And there's a long time I thought Boba Fett's badass. And then after the older I got, and the more I watched the movies, and I've watched them a lot, Boba Fett's he doesn't do a whole lot.
No.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. He's kind of doesn't do much. He's kind of a chump, actually. Like he does a whole lot of this, not a lot of this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's kind of stands there holding his gun, but he never really fires it. And the moment he's about to fire the gun, Luke cuts his blade. And so I'm a little, and then he just doesn't really,
And
where
somehow,
Jango Fett.
he became one of the most iconic characters from Star Wars. Fucking
'cause he looks
figurines and everything
badass.
everywhere. Because
Yeah.
he looks
Yeah.
badass. Of course he,
looks
does. He's
badass.
awesome.
He's a Mandalorian.
He's a
His armor.
Mandalorian. What can you say? He's awesome.
Yeah. Now, and to be fair, the books, I guess I forget what they're calling the old books. They're the non-canon now books that they have been written after the movies came out. They kind of explore the world of Boba Fett like after the Sarlacc pit. So there's like a whole series of books that dive into like life after Boba Fett, like after he escapes from the Sarlacc pit and goes back on his bounty hunting, and that's kind of badass. Those stories make him kind of more badass. Like he does a lot more pew pewing and less like standing there just looking ominous. Yeah. But so I'm interested to see what this like the Book of Boba Fett's gonna do for me as a fan looking at Boba Fett, thinking like, I don't know, he was kind of an idiot. So let's see what. But listen, The Mandalorian made him kind of badass again. So
Yeah,
let's
I would
see
agree. I agree.
Let's see what the trailer does.
Yeah, let's see what the trailer does. All right. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Ooh, tattoo. Oh,
Okay. What the fuck is that?
that's a Bomar.
I am not a bounty hunter.
You actually know what that is?
Yeah.
I've heard
That's the reason
otherwise.
of this film. Yeah, look at that. He looks so cool.
Dude, his armor's so. That's a cool Lucasfilm treatment.
I know that you sit on the throne of your former employer.
All right.
Oh wow.
Oh wow. Look at
Jabba
that.
ruled with fear.
That looks cool. Oh, I love her.
Yeah, NaWen. Yeah.
I intend to rule with
Nice, nice,
respect.
nice. He's a leader now? He's a leader? Was he always a leader?
You were all once captains under Jabba the Hutt.
I'm here to make a proposal that's mutually beneficial.
Oh. Is that a
Why speak of conflict when cooperation can make us all rich?
Slave
What
one?
prevents us all from killing you and taking what we want?
Oh,
Oh, laser shields.
no match.
If you had spoken such insolence to Jabba, he'd have fed you to his menagerie.
Yeah.
Please. Speak freely.
Please speak freely.
That's kind of cool.
Bring it.
Like assuming the
December
throne.
29th.
Okay.
All right.
I like the music.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
That
I
was
mean,
something.
It's that was. I mean,
It had moving parts.
It
Yeah.
did. It did have moving
did.
parts.
It
It was
did.
a little. It's a little light on the substance, heavy on the teasing. We do get a.
Yeah, I'm the teasing.
Yeah, there's a lot of tease here. It's sort of like, again, I see Boba Fett doing a lot of like looking cool, Not a lot of Boba Fett doing cool shit. No jetpack flying, no like grapple
that's
hooks.
true.
Or,
Where's the jetpack, huh? Huh?
Yeah, you know, like so I kind of
So
want
is he like the Mob King? Like he's just
Right.
like
He looks a bit
controlling
like he's
everyone?
taking over from Jabba. Does that
Yeah.
look like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the
Right, like
cutscene,
that?
spoiler,
Okay, go
real
ahead.
quick, if you haven't seen The Mandalorian, at the cutscene at the end of Mandalorian, you see Boba Fett and Finnick walk into Jabba's palace and execute Bib Fortuna, who Bib Fortuna was Jabba the Hutt's like,
Ah, yes.
I wouldn't say right hand man. He was kind of like his like I don't know advisor of sorts.
Yes.
I guess you could call him his right hand man. And so Bib Fortuna, I guess, took the throne when Princess Leia killed Jabba. Death by chain, and so you know Boba, they execute Bib Fortuna, and you see him sit on the throne. So he's clearly taking over from Jabba's like fallen empire, as it were. So that's kind of like the setup for this movie or for this show. Thoughts?
Sorry,
Break
Jacory
it
said
down.
Bib not so Fortuna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, that's pretty. I like that.
That is
Bib
good.
was
That's
annoying.
good.
I didn't
Yeah.
like Bib.
I didn't see Salacious Crumb though. That would have been he would have been ha 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 ha. Salacious was the little like
The little annoying guy.
little like with the big ears, and he's like you know. I think he bit the dust though when the barge blew up. So
Probably.
Oh,
Poor dude.
probably. I forgot that happened. Yeah.
I mean, he was really tiny, so like
Very
any little
likely.
blast.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, I really enjoy, okay, so, like, we all know how I feel about the Star Wars films. They're like, meh. But I am enjoying the look of this. I'm liking the feel of this because it feels very Mandalorian, and I actually quite liked that. I like the production quality on that. I really like the tone and the lighting and the costumes. I really enjoyed that part of it. So I don't, like, dislike Star Wars in total. I just think that there's a particular style that I do like, and it's not the prequels. So, yeah, awesome.
But you like the original trilogy, is what you're saying?
The
Or no?
original trilogy's not bad. Yeah, I can get on board with the original trilogy.
Okay.
The prequels is where you lost me, and then I
What
didn't
about-
even watch the last few because I was like, I watched, I think,
Really?
the 7th one with Daisy Ridley, the first one that Daisy Ridley was in, and then I was like, no, this is...
Not-
So
not your
anyway,
thing.
so yeah, I kind of moved on from that. It didn't grip me. But as far as I know, there's a lot of Star Wars fans that probably would agree with me that the OG were pretty great.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
gonna...
But yeah, but this I can get on board with. I like Fennec. I like Boba Fett. I really like their kind of resurfacing in Mandalorian. Really enjoyed that. I was like, oh my god, because you know when you're watching something and you're not a fan of the originals, or if you're not as well versed in the originals, and then you get something like a character like Boba Fett like reappearing, everyone's like, oh, did you see that? And you're the person in the corner being like, what did I miss? And I'm so thankful that I knew exactly who Boba Fett was, so that when he did resurface, I was like, guys, look, it's Boba Fett.
You could be in the crowd.
I could be in the crowd.
Yeah.
I got in on that joke. That was
You got
great.
in on that joke.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think them doing this whole movie, I'm so for it. Like, after watching Mandalorian, I'm like, yeah, I'm down for this. This looks
Okay.
great.
All right.
Yeah. Which is a hot take from me, honestly. I was not
That is a hot
expecting it
take.
to do that. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that from you either.
Yeah,
I was
there you go.
expecting like, meh, Star Wars next. But
interesting. That's
but I
PJ.
appreciate- That is PJ. Yeah, we're missing that take. I'll give it to you. Meh, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Next. Steph, what are your thoughts? How you feeling? That trailer, did that leave you like, listen, I got to go watch Mandalorian, and then I got to watch me some Boba Fett. What are you feeling?
I mean, I definitely want to watch The Mandalorian. You know, that's on the list. I completely forgot about the original series, like the original movie and Boba Fett in those movies. So it was like, really, the one thing I remember is the Clone Wars. But I don't know. It's interesting because it's like, I think Boba Fett was kind of like always somebody I was like, who is he? In the originals, like, you know, what's the point doing there? And he's like traveling around, making things hard for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also kind of like, do we need like a Boba Fett? Like I'm excited for Ahsoka. I don't know about Boba
Okay.
Fett. Like, it looks really cool,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Like, I feel like Disney is doing a lot of different things right now, and they're just really trying to like give like characters a new thing,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's like Marvel or
Sure.
Star Wars. And so I think that's kind of interesting. Like Hawkeye's one of those things where it's like, you know, you always loved him as a character, and then the TV show that they're giving him, I'm like, why? Why this story? Like, you could have done something so much better.
Because they like money, Stephanie.
Maybe it'll be maybe
totally.
It'll be good.
Yeah. How can we make gobs of cash? I don't know. How about a Boba Fett show? Done.
Give them what they want. Just
give them what they want.
The Mandalorian seemed to do well. Let's just give them more of that, but with Boba Fett. Fucking put him in there.
And that's, I guess, what was interesting about the Mandalorian. It sort of made I think what it did was it sort of here's what Disney's been really good at with Disney Plus shows. They've been really good at fixing the problems that the movies and or other shows have had problems. Like the fact that we saw Boba Fett, and I'm sure Dave Filoni saw the same thing. He kind of doesn't do a whole lot. And they're kind of like, well, let's bring him into the Mandalorian and make him look like a badass, right? You know, and we can give him a bit of more of a character arc. You know, he can change his ways from being a bounty hunter to maybe being more of like a pseudo anti-hero kind of guy. You know, because in the early movies, he's pretty cutthroat. Like he's willing to put Han Solo on carbonite and take him to Jabba the Hutt, no questions asked. Like, let's do this deal.
Yeah, he's a bounty hunter. It's kind of that's the gig.
Yeah, that's the gig. You know,
ask too many questions, you get shot.
Yeah, and we kind of saw that in The Mandalorian, where he was pretty much like that too. For his like, I can take you in cold, or I can take you in, or I can take you in warm, you know, or whatever. So it's kind of like he was pretty ruthless, and that's what made I guess that's why I'm iffy on this, because that's what made The Mandalorian kind of badass. Was like he's kind of a gunslinger, you know, he'll take you down, and I'm hoping we're not gonna get like the I'm the evolved Boba Fett. I don't bounty hunt anymore. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna change Jabba's ways. I'm gonna make everybody an honest criminal, you know, versus like, I don't know, you know, it was kind of interesting the way that trailer kind of broke down. But I mean, obviously not. We see him basically murder a dude with one of those laser shields, and he's putting down some solid threats. Like, anybody else got any questions? Which is basically like, go fuck yourself. I'm ruling this thing. So I'm stoked. I think there's a lot of fan service in this trailer too. I mean, we see an Ithorian, and, well, a lot of old school trilogy characters pop up, like Alien. So we see like an Ithorian, a Trandoshan. We see Trileks. I think there was like Clatonians, and then and I might be missing a couple. And we see the Gamorrean guards. What are you saying? I'm full nerding out. Like, so the Gamorrean guards are like the big fat green guys that protected, and they were pretty useless for Jabba. It'll be interesting to see if they make the Gamorrean guards like cool again, you know, because Luke Skywalker basically like force chokes one and it backs away. They don't really do a whole lot. They kind of just get shot and die, but they're there and they have big axes. So hopefully we'll get to see the Gamorrean guards do some cool shit, because they're supposed to be a pretty big threat. That's why they're there, to protect Jabba. It's kind of like having your own private axe army. Yeah.
That's the bodyguards. Like Jabba's like the fucking the biggest social media influencer, and those are his bodyguards. Like, I feel like if we were putting that in real term context, like that's what we're looking at here.
No, I don't. I know.
Are you sure?
I think you missed it.
I feel like it would be. I feel like it'd be pretty big into social media. I feel like you'd be on Facebook or Meta.
Yeah.
EJP, sorry, I just want to shout out. Thank you so much for the soup. Making couch soup and bounty hunting are a complicated profession. Yes. Yeah. Both of those are definitely very complicated.
Yes, EJ. Yes, couch soup is coming. I'm so excited, guys. The site is almost done. Yeah, Matthew Snyder. Ahsoka is my favorite Star Wars character. Full stop. Man, let's talk about that for a hot second. I wonder. So she's kind of been the thread that has kind of made the expanded universe, or whatever we call everything after anything Dave Filoni touches. Ahsoka sort of like the through line that connects everything together, whether it was from Clone Wars to Rebels. She comes into Rebels, then she's been brought into the Mandalorian, and now, you know, does she kind of bounce around and kind of like she's the connective tissue through the Force that kind of leads these characters to kind of do the right thing or whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see if Ahsoka does show up in Boba Fett. I feel like she will. It's sort of like a no-brainer now that they've casted her with Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
And the new series is coming, so seems like a no-brainer that they'll all kind of interweave those together.
Agreed. And I feel like as they've already made those sort of cameos, even though they're not technically cameos yet because they don't have their own show just yet, except now Boba does. Anyway, so I feel like that's going to be natural, and I feel like maybe we'll even see cameos from characters from The Mandalorian in both of those series as well, in Ahsoka's series and in the Book of Boba Fett. So I think that's a cool progression. I think what you were saying earlier about how like you're wondering if Boba Fett is going to be less badass in any way because he's going to be all like, I'm now an honest criminal or something. Yeah. I'm actually seeing this more as like almost like a villain origin sort of story or something like that, like how Boba is going to take over the fucking criminal industry or something like that and be one of the baddest mafia gangs in all the galaxy.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or something, you know, like I'm seeing that. Like there was obviously a lot of that kind of stuff with Cruella and stuff like that from Disney too. So I'm thinking this is going to be along the same lines, like a likable villain.
Yeah.
Maybe, hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, he has to be somewhat likable, right, for us to be the protagonist, I guess, of this series
something
in
to
some way.
relate to.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like at what, you know, what gray area is there? Yeah, I got a sense you're right. Like I think Stephanie, you kind of hit it. Is this the like the Sopranos of Star Wars? Like, is this going to get like very mob boss like?
Yeah. I think so.
I'm going to give you, you know, what was it? Ask a favor you can't refuse, or kind of thing. You know, it's sort of you really leaning into that idea. Like he's got the first season's maybe like him kind of rebuilding Jabba's empire. We're kind of seeing that right now, which is really interesting. I wonder. Yeah, you're right. And then like, who else will come in? Like, you know, will the Mandalorian, will Jin come into play? Will Grogu show up at some point? Maybe randomly. Will Luke Skywalker show up and be like, "Hey, I threw you down a Sarlacc pit. How the fuck did you get out of that?"
Yeah, aren't you supposed to be dead?
Yeah. Well, and I wonder if there's going to be some backstory because I mean there is some big questions. I don't
about how he got out.
Yeah, and I don't think the Mandalorian touched on that. I'm trying to. I got to go back and rewatch that, but
can't remember.
Yeah, because
I would love to see that happen because that has a lot of teeth. You know, so it's like
I feel like there is something
something like that.
Like I don't know if Mandalorian touched on it. Chat, if you know, let us know because I definitely remember something, but then that might have just been like one of the theories because there's a lot of theories online where they're like, well, actually, because who knows? Maybe a Sarlacc doesn't have teeth all the way on the inside, and he managed to slip in between one of those teeth, and then like I don't know,
maybe
pulled it out, and the Sarlacc's fucking weakness is that third tooth on the left. You know, we don't know.
Yeah.
That could be
He's
it.
got a cavity here and a cavity here. And a cavity
yeah, he's just
it's
sitting
like,
down
wow,
there.
you should. Oh my god, maybe it's like the lion and like the mouse and the lion, where the mouse takes the thorn out of the lion, and the Sarlacc is just like, yeah, now we're best friends. Let me travel you to the surface.
We're friends forever.
Yeah, and he like removes a couple of bones from his teeth, and he's like, god, thank you. That's been killing me for years.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Everybody thinks I'm trying to eat them, but I just wanted some help.
Listen, Disney's involved now. There's so many options that we could have gone here.
No. That's the worst. No.
What are you talking about? It's great.
Little random animated bluebirds are just like circling around.
Yeah, and he's singing while he works and stuff, you know.
Yeah, man.
Then there's a musical number.
Drew's dying inside. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, I think even George Lucas was like, I threw him down a Sarlacc pit. He's dead. Like, what are you guys doing here? You know, like
probably.
You know, it's you know, is this Star Wars inability to actually kill a character? You know, it's sort of like we're gonna bring back Palpatine. Like, oh, okay. I don't know. You know, it's sort of like I want it to be great, and here's the deal. I think Boba Fett, when they brought him into Mandalorian, they did it in a smart way. I liked how they kind of made him just kind of like a brutal, like, not only like when he put on the armor, you could clearly see he was capable. Like, he used all of his toys, flamethrower, grapple hooks. He had some new toys that we hadn't seen before. But before that, he was just he could kick some serious ass. Like, he was used in the Tusken Raider staff to just beat the shit out of people, or stormtroopers, which was awesome to see, right? Like, the dude is a badass. Like, he's an ass kicker, right? Hands, like, hard stop. He's just an ass kicker. So I'm hoping I'm hoping I really enjoy this, and I'm hoping this isn't just like, yeah, we're gonna make Boba Fett alive, and we're gonna do this cool thing, and I don't know, I want Star Wars to have a little bit of like, I don't know, what's the word, like finality to it, like when somebody dies, like let them die, like let them be dead, it's okay, we can just love that character and move on. But,
it's kind of cool, or even just do like a prequel thing or something, like do a backstory or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, because he clearly has like in Empire Strikes Back, there's one of the best lines in Empire Strikes Back, and Darth Vader's walking down the line of all the bounty hunters that he's sending after Han Solo and the Falcon, and he's like, I need them captured alive, and he points right at Boba Fett and he says, "No disintegrations." And so he's clearly got a name for himself. Like Boba Fett is clearly the guy that you send to when you want like just something done. Like, and this dude does it, like he disintegrates people. Like it's like, I got him. He'll never live again because he's disintegrated. So I want to see the ruthless, brutal Boba Fett, and maybe this will show that. Maybe he'll start to be like, I don't want to bounty hunt anymore, but I'm just gonna murder a lot of folks. I don't know.
I think. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think for me, like, I think the trailer just kind of did a really good job of building the world of, like, Star Wars has already been built, like, the world has already been built. But for the show, like, just kind of showing you, like, all of these, like, set pieces and locations and just creatures, like, all these different things. So I think that's interesting, but at the same time, like, I think you're right. Like, I wish that there was a little bit more of, like, that harder side of Boba Fett that we see. Like, I think the closest is him kind of, like, sitting on the throne, like, taking over. And then you've got, I was looking at IMDb trying to see, like, who's on the cast, but they only have 3 people listed. So.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I'm probably going to butcher this. I'm so sorry, but is it Ming-na Wen?
Yeah.
Ming-na Wen. Oh my god. She looks so fucking badass in this, and I really like her character. I like Fennec. I think that she's going to bring something super cool to this series. Maybe Boba Fett's gonna fucking go off the rails, and maybe Fennec will somehow be the voice of reason eventually, or I don't know.
I feel like she might be the one to challenge him a little bit. I feel like she might be a competition. I think that's my take from the trailer.
Maybe,
She may want to take control from Boba Fett. Like, maybe Boba Fett's one of those people that's just kind of like power hungry, or like just like blinded by his vision of whatever he wants.
That's cool.
And she may be one to retaliate.
Yeah, the Mandalorian seemed to make it sound like she is, like, beholden to him for saving her life. So, like, there's some sort of, like, blood oath or something that she, will always be by his side kind of thing, So, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe there's something there, but...
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And, I mean, I know there's not much cast announced, but, like, Boba Fett, played by Temuera Morrison, and Fennec Shand, played by Ming-na Wen. Like, talk about 2 of the most beloved, like, fans of Star Wars, right? Like, both of them are nerds, right? Like, Ming-na Wen, like, posted a photo the other day of, like, her in, like, a geek club in, like, high school, like, and there's people, like, dressed up as Star Wars characters. Temuera, like, this guy goes to, like, every con, like, every Star Wars thing, like, all the Star Wars Galaxy shows. Like, the guy, like, loves fans. Like, he is, like, one of those people who's just like, I'm in Star Wars, let's do this. Like, he's just he's one of those people who, like, would literally, like, you'd meet him at a bar and be like, hey, I just want to chit chat, and he'd be like, yeah, dude, sit down, I'll buy you a pint, kind of like. He's like the nicest dude ever. So I'm super thankful that, like, someone who's just been that supportive of the fandom and that supportive of, like, his character, and, like, the love of what he's been able to do for the show, get his own show, so for that part, I'm sort of like, oh man, he deserves this. Like, he deserves to lead the show and have his own show and take Boba Fett to, like, new heights. So I'm excited for him. And Ming-na. So
it would be super cool. Like, I actually haven't seen any interviews or anything like that as well with him, but I would love to see, like, his take on this, like, from the character that he had in, like, the originals, like, in I don't even know what the fuck you call a 9-series film thing, but you know what I mean. Like, the prequels and stuff like that. I wonder, I kind of just wonder how he feels. Like, somebody just called him up one day and be like, hey, we're gonna bring Boba Fett back. Turns out Sarlacc Pit didn't kill you. Huh, who knew? Would you like to come back to that? Like, was that, like, just the most mind-blowing thing that's happened to him since he probably got cast as Boba Fett. Like, I don't know. That would be kind of cool to find out. Like, I'd love to see his take on that. Like, and see how he feels about now, not just coming back in Mandalorian, but now getting his own series. And he seems cool. I'm also happy for him. I think you're right, Drew. I think he like, and nerds in general. Like, I mean, if ming-na was like this big geek and massive fan of Star Wars, like, I love seeing that shit. I love seeing people like who are massive fans of a series or a director or something like that, and then eventually getting to work with them. That's so cool. I think that's deadly.
Yeah.
Well, and to see him too kind of like step into the role of Boba Fett, like transition from Jango Fett to like, you know, like to this character, which I think is also pretty cool because I mean, I'm excited for that factor. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it, but at the same time, I am excited.
It'll be interesting to what they explore. I mean, there's a lot of Boba Fett you can mine, right? Like, we don't know, because Boba Fett was created as, so when Jango Fett went to the Kaminoans to kind of make the clone army, you know, they used his DNA to make the clone army. So the clone army is literally like a bunch of mini Jango Fetts running around. And then they made Boba Fett, but without like the enhanced growth and some of like the all the weird like Order 66 like implants and all that shit that made the clones kind of go crazy. So he's kind of a pure clone, you know, of Jango. But I'm wondering if like he asked them to do like some other like things, you know, like like enhancements or and things. So I wonder if they're going to explore that. Like, is there something special about Boba that enabled him to survive the Sarlacc, or enables him to kind of think faster, do better, you know, more like a super clone, you know, like something that's a little bit more like gene splicing that made him more badass. So there could be something there. Or I'm also interested to explore a little bit more. Like, he spent obviously a lot of time with I'm blanking on the name, the Tusken Raiders. On Tatooine, so he clearly spent a lot of time with them, and so I'm wondering if we're going to get more backstory, if he utilizes like the Raiders to kind of like help him control Tatooine, because this really seems like it's taking place in Tatooine. Like, even the cityscapes and like the like everything we've seen so far looks like it doesn't look like they're going like to other worlds. This feels very grounded on Tatooine. I don't know if that's Mos Eisley that we see, or if that's another. It looks like something new because it's like in a crater, and I've never seen that before.
That does look new.
So that's
which
cool.
is cool. I'd like to, I think that would be nice for fans as well to see more things and explore Star Wars universe rather than just you know, like that it's a familiar planet and stuff, but it's a completely different area, and that'd be good. That's kind of cool. I like that, keeping fans hyped and surprised, you know. Rather than just being like, hey, this is the city you know and love, and you're like, I do love this, but can we go somewhere else? It's kind of like, I think that's what has been great about even the Mandalorian. They kind of, there's just enough of, hey, I recognize that, but also a whole lot of like, oh my god, this is new and this is cool, and you've shown me something new. So I'm hoping this has that perfect mixture as well of like teasing us with cool things like Bomar monks and like the cool aliens and stuff that we love from the original trilogy, but also like putting them in new context and giving them like more to do. I don't know. As a fan, I can't help but be excited. But as like, you know, part of me is sort of like, you know, why Boba? But I'm also excited. You know, well,
so
that's interesting. Yeah, so because I think, oh god, who said it in chat? I'm so sorry, chat. I'll try and see it. Sharu said, I think Vader could make a comeback if all of the rest of these less powerful villains survived. Would you like to see somebody else come back, Drew? Like, as a fan of the show, like, would you be like, but why Boba? We could have had, I don't know, Palpatine, or you could have had Vader or something.
I think a hard pass. Like, I think when somebody sort of like is. Here's my problem, and this is my sort of problem with the new Obi-Wan show. I don't know if I want to watch an Obi-Wan show when I already know his ending. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen the beginning and I've seen the end, right? I've seen him in the prequels, and I've seen his like relationship with Anakin and that whole stuff. And then there's a whole Clone Wars cartoon where we get to explore Obi-Wan as well. And so this is sort of like between Hermit Obi-Wan from A New Hope and and between like badass, like I'm a Jedi knight, like, or Jedi master, you know,
Brotherless.
leading armies, Obi-Wan. So like I don't know, what Obi-Wan do I want? I don't know if I want that one. So I don't know. I'm a little on the fence on that. Unimaginative username Hayden Christensen is coming back for the Obi-Wan show and the
I did
Ahsoka
see
show.
that.
I did read that. That's pretty cool. But again, as what, like a Force ghost?
Yeah, good point. As what?
I don't-
Unless it's like flashbacks of him as
Right, it could be flashbacks. Yeah.
Anakin, and then they'd have to do that whole de-aging thing as well. And I'm like, no, please don't.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Right.
Let's not do the de-aging thing.
Aging
Hollywood.
thing, yeah.
It's very noticeable.
Would he be de-aged though? Because isn't
What's
it?
that?
Would he be de-aged though? Because he, like, they're
Yeah, well, it
aging
has to be younger
Obi-Wan.
than when he technically died.
Became Darth Vader.
Yeah, because if it's Hayden Christensen, because he became Darth Vader
oh, so it's
when he was young, and
before-
then it was a different
oh.
actor.
Yeah, so it's
for
either going to be
James.
Hayden Christensen in a Darth Vader suit, which would be kind of like, I guess, but
He'd be kind of like,
Or-
oh, I guess.
yeah, I don't know, you know, why not?
He wouldn't be able to
But-
voice him then, right?
No, right,
Right.
exactly.
So
It would
it's like, no, he has to be Hayden
it'd be
Christensen.
James Earl Jones,
Yeah.
and then the
He has
face
to
of
be.
Hayden Christensen, like,
You're cast,
be like,
Yeah.
but here's
My
your
mind would
costume,
explode.
and turns out we're gonna dub all of your lines.
all
That
of your
would be
lines.
so sad.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
That happened. I think we talked about that before.
Yeah.
What I do think though is like Hayden Christensen. Okay, so I mean, I can't seem to get past whether or not it was just bad writing or bad acting in the prequels. And I'm like, I don't know if it's one or the other, but just there's some moments. There's just some moments, and they're just so terrible. They're fucking
Yeah.
awful. And I'm really hoping that
I
this is
hear
going to
you.
be the case where it's like Robert Pattinson in Twilight can be awful sometimes, but Robert Pattinson is a fucking amazing actor and has proved himself since. So I'm hoping
Sure.
that if they bring Hayden Christensen back into some of these, everyone will just be like, wow, shockingly, I'm very surprised at how amazing this guy is.
He's
Yeah.
had time to mature, you know. He's
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
he's obviously was just a
marinated.
kid on Star Wars,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's been in other things since, and he can hold his own. He's a
Okay.
pretty good actor.
That's right.
So I don't have any. It's definitely, you're right. There's a combination of bad writing and bad direction / acting. I think, you know.
Oh, phew. I thought you stands were going to come for me. I was like, I am making my deathbed here. I'm ready to die on this hill.
I don't know. I don't know any. Most Star Wars fans sort of acknowledge that the prequels
True.
aren't
You did.
perfect, but they're still
still watch
great
them.
in some ways. You know what I'm saying? Like there's still moments. They're still smart. Like, here's what George Lucas does really well. He builds worlds, and he understands like the connective tissue of things, like how everything kind of moves together. And he's a great just storyteller, right? But when it comes down to maybe like directing young Anakin to say not something stupid, well, I don't know. You know,
That's
maybe
fair.
somebody else could have. Maybe somebody like a good child director could have came in and punched his lines up or made him not sound
Yeah,
awful.
for sure.
Like,
I
are
feel
you
like-
an angel? Oh my god! Like every time.
Yeah,
I
the
just wanna,
sand,
like,
the sand scene.
ignite
just
the
makes me
lightsaber and
sting
slit my
crawl,
throat.
Man. It's just
Yeah.
so no.
Yeah.
And there's no chemistry. You're totally right. Snape, there's absolutely no chemistry between them. But I think the most
And
badass
how could
character.
you not have chemistry with Natalie Portman? She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe they
I
just
mean,
didn't
like,
get on.
if someone was like, "You're an Drew, have chemistry with Natalie Portman," like, I'm in love. Hi. You know, like, it'd just be like, she might not have chemistry. She'd be like, "Get away, you creep."
Ah.
But
I'm
but
married.
there would be chemistry between me and her. Right? You know?
It was just weird on this set, but I do think that the best character from those prequel trilogies that I will admit that it kind of like held its own was Darth Maul. He was cool. He was cool. The Sith.
and
He
they brought him
fucking
back.
Broke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
He got
he
cut
was
in half.
fucking awesome.
See.
Got cut in half and
And yet somehow
brought him
The Force
cut in
is
half and then
powerful, my
thrown
friend.
down like an energy tube of like a, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
here's
You can
the deal,
fix
Star Wars. We
Anakin.
can't kill people. They
No.
live forever. You know.
Yeah.
It's like Marvel. Like, Iron Man's dead. He'll be back.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We'll
See,
figure
now-
out something.
give
Some
it a
time
few
travel
years.
loophole.
Robert Downey Jr. loses all his money on like horse racing. He'll be back. Don't worry.
Yeah, no doubt. You like Money Marvel?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, bring him back.
Take my money.
Yeah,
Well,
shut
I
up and
wanna-
take
I
my
wanna-
money. Stephanie,
I want. We only have a few more minutes, but I want to touch base on like the controversy between. So we see Boba Fett's iconic ship Like this was the toy to have when you were a kid. You're like, I want Slave One. It's Boba Fett's ship. It's iconic, the way it looks, the way it flies. We get to see some of its action in the prequels with its sonic bombs and the way it fires. So we got to see it in action, which was really cool in the prequels. But Disney announced that they're kind of like saying, hey, naming a ship Slave One isn't exactly like the right name for this. It's not, slaves aren't something we support.
Sure.
So they're sort of like retconning Slave One. I'm just interested on your take on that. Like, and I'm actually curious. They don't mention, obviously, no one mentions the name of the ship in Mandalorian or in this trailer. So I'm wondering if that name will hold, or I mean, what are your thoughts? It's clearly named, and it's not name dropped in the movies ever. I don't think. So it's not like something that they would have to like go back in the movies and be like, redub this line and call it this instead. So it's always just been named. That's what it's been named from the toy when you bought it at Walmart back in the day, or Target or whatever. And it's always been in like all the books ever since it's been written. It's Slave One. It's in all the encyclopedias. So to kind of retcon and be like, no, it's not Slave One anymore. What are your thoughts?
I mean, like, slavery's bad, so like obviously, I think name-wise, I think doesn't have like a good connotation to it. Whereas like in the world, like there are slaves, you see them like throughout all of the movies, like different points. So I don't know. I mean, we can't get rid of everything, I feel like, or like just like delete. But at the same time, like, I feel like we should recognize things and just say, hey, like, that's not good. Like, we don't have to condone it. We don't, need to condone it. But, I mean, I don't know. Like, at the end of the day, like, it is just a name. And I think you could change it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel you, Steph. Like, I mean, I feel like, you know what, it's just a name. Just change the name of the ship and it'll be fine. But at the same time, like, as well, I think, was that change super necessary? Like, this is a galaxy far, far away, and he literally was in the slave trade because he was a bounty hunter and then would collect those bounties, and they couldn't pay or whatever, then they would go in the slave trade for Jabba, right? And then, like, even Tatooine, right? The Skywalker family or whatever were working for them, technically as slaves. Of course, nobody, like, condones that or whatever. And that shit, unfortunately, still happens today, like, where their slave trade is still active, unfortunately. But I don't know if they had to go so far as changing the name of Boba Fett's ship, especially in this kind of, like, this science fiction context. However, it's Disney. And I feel like they're going to try and cover themselves and make sure that they're like, listen, this is just not something we're comfortable with and we're going to take a stand against it. So I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, that seems fair. Was it absolutely necessary? I don't know. I don't think it's absolutely necessary to change it. Candace Rose says that she said it's a throwback to Django's backstory. I think that holds out. I think that's legit. I don't think it's necessary to change it, if I'm very, very honest, if that's just my opinion. I understand that has negative connotations, but then people making a big deal over the name change as well. You're just kind of like, yeah, well, I mean, it's Boba Fett, and like, he can do whatever he wants now. He's no longer gonna clearly be traveling with slaves or trying to collect those people to work for Jabba because he's dead. So now he's gonna do whatever he wants to do. So you could call his ship, I don't know.
And it's not going to change our lives. I mean, our lives are still going to be the same.
It's sort of like, I don't. Here's the deal. We can't change the past, right? No. Like, it's not like you can like rewrite like it'll always be Slave One in the past. So why? Like, I guess moving forward, if he built a new ship, like if it's like his ship exploded, which maybe it will, and he rebuilds the ship, and he's like, I'm going to call this whatever, Mandalorian 4. I don't know. That's fine, but if it's, I don't know, it's sort of like just saying like, hey, we're never gonna reference this ship anymore as Slave One. Just seems like a bit of like a hand waviness and like, oh no, come on, like that's what it was. Like, that's fine. Moving forward, now that Disney, if you don't want to name things weird things like slave, that's fine. Move on. You don't have to do that anymore, and we're okay with that. It's I guess there's some issue with just like not trying to erase the past like it didn't exist. It's just doesn't, to me, is a little bit of I don't know.
I feel like
it's almost
even
like
if-
a dictator
Yeah,
coming
even if they
in
could
and be
just
like, this didn't happen.
acknowledge it or something. Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't think there's any point in trying to pretend that that didn't exist. Like, if you're going to change it, maybe just acknowledge it. Like, if it's such an iconic thing, right? You're asking the wrong person. I don't know. I'm not a massive Star Wars fan. I didn't even know it was Slave One, really, like, or how much that meant to people. Like, it's just the name of the ship. But, like, I see what you mean. Like, they're just trying to cover themselves, but why not just acknowledge it then? Just be like, oh, you know, Slave One crash and burn, and this is now, you know, or, you know, Boba Fett's walking towards his ship and he's gonna get on, and then he'll say, oh, I'm gonna get on Slave One, and someone's like, no, we've got a better ship. It's called the Millennium Falcon, and everyone's like, what the fuck? We're losing our minds over here.
We got the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I feel like Slave One is iconic. The ship of Boba Fett is iconic, but it's not as iconic as Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
So I feel
well,
like...
I mean, just like, take, for example, like, fast forward 80 years and say, like, some crazy, like group that is just blows up things, and they call themselves the Falcons. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're the Falcons, and they blow up things, and they're like terrorists and whatever. And then like 80 years later, like, Disney's like, no, we can't. The Millennium Falcon's name can no longer be the Millennium Falcon because Falcon is bad. Be like, what? You know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just at what point do you just sort of say, like, it's okay, it's just a name of a ship. It's not it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I feel like there's just some things that, you know, you can just let go and not make a big deal out of.
It's interesting that somebody obviously brought that to Disney, or somebody mentioned it to whoever it was, to be like, hey, we need to change the name of the ship because it's kind of like not okay. Where it is just a word, it is a language, and obviously we all know that language can like be extremely hurtful and bring up a whole bunch of that. But if you're saying like again, this is a galaxy far, far away. It is a science fiction culture. The slave trade still exists in that culture. Which we haven't really seen much of, to be fair, except for like the prequel story and stuff like that. The prequel trilogy. My God.
Yeah.
I can speak English.
Maybe.
Yeah. So
You speak
sometimes.
Irish.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So I feel like it's not necessary. I don't think that step was necessary. However, there's obviously people higher up than me and Disney who were like, yeah, it is. So.
Yeah.
What the fuck do I know?
Yes, I am King Disney. I declare.
Yes, King Disney declares that it's going to do something
Well,
else.
yeah. I mean, I guess this is sort of like an ongoing thing. They, I mean, I don't know if you guys are aware, but they also like renamed. And I get this a little bit. This is more understanding. Like, so like on packaging, they used to sell the Princess Leia outfit when she was wearing the metal bikini, and they named that outfit the Slave Leia outfit, right? Because she was Jabba's slave at the time. So there was the Slave Leia, and so obviously she was never referred to that like, hey, Slave Leia, come here. Like, it's not like she was referred to that in the movie. No. So like that was just like a naming package choice on what to call that outfit. It kind of stuck, right? Like if you were to Google like Slave Leia costume, right? Like the metal bikini would come up, right? Yeah. So I understand that in a way that's a little bit like, okay, that was a bad marketing decision like 20 years ago on how to market a toy, calling it a Slave Leia outfit. You can retcon that. That's fine. It's that's not exactly a great term. But like, I don't know, the name of an iconic ship that everybody has sort of like come to love, and Boba Fett is, you know, such an iconic character that people love. So, yeah.
It's
Matthew
also
Snyder,
like,
Bob
I mean,
Iger
it's not
disagrees. Yes, he does.
You know, it's Slave One, and it's not, you know, it's not Slave Killer One. It's not, you know, Slave Collector One. It's just Slave One, and I feel like I haven't read much about this controversy. I didn't know about it until you brought it up. I didn't think it was a thing. Like, I didn't think people would have something to say about that.
Oh, it's a thing.
I mean, it's interesting. You make a good point, and I suppose like it's making me think about that in a different way, and that's good. But I just don't know how necessary that really was. And I do hope that if they are changing it, that they will just acknowledge that it was called, but now it's going to be called X.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think people will be waiting on bated breath for that moment. You know, like what, you know, because, you know, I think they have to somewhat acknowledge that. It's not like you can just fly around in a ship with no name.
Right, fair.
You know, so, especially when there's a series based on him, you know, and he's got the ship and everything, so.
Interesting, though. Very, very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think overall, I said this before. It looks great. Like it's Dave Filoni, it's John Favreau, Robert Rodriguez. I think is helming this thing from a director standpoint. So Robert Rodriguez, he can do some badass shit when it comes to action. So so I'm excited. And Dave Filoni has yet to disappoint me when it comes to storytelling and weaving the connective tissue of Star Wars. So he's very, very smart. He gets it. He gets like the subtleness of like what the nerds want, but also like how to tell a good like a new story within the big universe that is Star Wars. So I'm excited. Like as a nerd, I'm excited. Although I will say, Boba Fett, bounty hunter's got nothing on a Jedi.
Oh my god. I'm sorry you have to see that, folks.
I had the trailer open and I was looking at that. And I heard the lightsaber.
Oh
and I
my
couldn't minimize.
god.
I was like, what is happening?
You can't lick it.
No,
don't
I
can't lick
lick
it. Oh,
No.
It
Sorry.
will cut off your tongue.
Yeah,
That's a real lightsaber, right?
yeah, it's
It is.
of course.
When I was younger, I always thought everybody was calling it a light saver.
Oh no. Yeah.
And then I realized that a saber is off the
Lightsaber.
word. Yes, I'm.
Yeah, I even have different kyber crystals. So I have a green one.
One
Wait,
day I will
really?
make it
Yeah, I have a red
to-
one. I can be a Sith Lord.
Where's your purple one though, huh?
I don't have the purple one. I have a yellow one.
Can you get
and-
the purple one?
I
I'm
think so.
shocked if you can.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
Well,
Interesting.
yeah, I assume so.
Yeah, everybody wants to be Samuel L. Jackson.
Everybody
a
wants
white-
to be
Everybody
as
A
cool.
white one, white kyber crystal.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I took a test and that's the color I got for mine. Apparently.
Oh, I didn't
white?
take this test. This is a
green.
test? It's like fucking
There's, like,
Pottermore
something
or
online
something?
I took.
What? I want to take it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
super cool. Like, it's actually pretty insane. Like the detail. Like, so you can actually interchange the kyber crystals in the lightsaber.
Yeah, see, that's kind of cool. Like, I really enjoy the world that they've built around Star Wars. Like, there's a whole Star Wars like area in Disneyland or something like that, right? Or Disney World, one of the Disney's places.
So,
that is
like,
cool.
Yeah, so the kyber crystal sits in there, and you can pop them out.
And it changes the color of the whole saber.
The whole
That's
blade, yeah.
crazy.
And it
Actually,
makes
really impressed.
it makes a cool
Wait,
noise
can
when
you
you
go
pop it
over?
in.
Oh,
Oh.
Hold on. I don't know if you can hear this.
ASMR.
I don't know if I did it right. Oh no, didn't do it.
No,
Oh.
we were waiting for the
I know.
ASMR.
Oh no.
Lightsaber ASMR.
Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
What a jerk.
I know. I'm a bad nerd.
You're a bad nerd. But it'd be cool. Like, I didn't know it changes the whole fucking color. That's
so
dope.
cool.
Yeah. So you can get like that's why you can buy one. You get one lightsaber. You buy the crystals, and that's kind of like.
Is
Yeah, Drew
there,
broke it. He'd be fucking heartbroken, Snape.
I totally broke
if
it.
they were to create a series,
I broke it.
No! God, I would feel so bad for you if you did. Don't say that.
question.
Drew, no.
If they were to create a series for a Star Wars character, what character would you want it to be? Like, what's something like you're like, I would watch that.
Boba Fett. I feel like Boba Fett.
Man, that was a layup.
In fact, I hope they do like a book. Like a Book of Boba Fett.
something-
Yeah, I feel like
A
that's
book-
got
a book
some leeway to
of
it.
Boba
Yeah.
Fett.
Yeah, this is good.
Wow.
Pagan, is somebody handing you money?
Right?
No, I fucking wish they would. Disney, pay me.
Like, psst, say this.
Yeah, they must be fucking paying me if I'm liking Star Wars.
That's
I
too funny.
really want a Darth Maul series.
Same.
Yeah.
After Rogue One.
Oh, there it goes. So that's the sound it makes when you insert a kyber crystal. Sorry, I had the battery pack out.
Nice.
Helps if you plug it in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm down with the Ahsoka. Like she's
Yeah, Ahsoka looks
what Filoni did with her character and bringing it to shit, it's 1:00. We got to go. I got another meeting to run
All
to.
right.
But what
Okay.
Filoni did with her character and kind of like making her kind of like a gray Jedi and she kind of I don't know. It's interesting. I'd like to explore that a little bit more, right? Because mostly Star Wars has usually been black and white. You're either good or bad, and you kind of have Ahsoka that kind of like, kind of went rogue there, and it's very interesting. So I kind of want to see. She doesn't really have to abide by the Jedi rules necessarily. That
She is
the
cool.
Jedi. Yeah. So
I'm hyped for that series.
yeah, I am too. So
Cool.
but let's wrap it up and leave it in the comments if you got like thoughts on Book of Boba Fett. Leave them in the comments. Hit us up on Twitter, dude. I will nerd out with you if you got some thoughts. I will comment back because Star Wars is close to my heart, like most sci-fi, but Star Wars definitely up there. So and then follow us on. You can follow Pagan. She's got her socials. You can follow Steph. All those things. Pagan Plays.
Link it.
I've been judging since day one.
Yeah.
Steph. You can
nice.
you can follow CouchSoup at CouchSoup, formerly known as Retro Replay. So we're everywhere. New website's launching soon. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. More articles. There'll probably be Steph. I know is gonna write. Steph W. Watson is gonna write an article on Boba Fett. I know it. It's coming, isn't it, Steph?
Coming.
Just don't let me down here. So check that out. I'm sure we'll be doing recaps and stuff on that on CouchSoup. So
Nice.
let's do it. Let's get us out of here. You got any final words?
Nope. It looks great. Thank you, Disney.
I'll
No
be
joke.
watching.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you next
I'm
time.
gonna
After Mandalorian.
play with my lightsaber.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Don't do that on camera.